Today's show is sponsored by the Electric Vehicle Association. Join up and support the electrification of transportation. And by this year's electric vehicle raffle for the planet from CCAN Action Fund. Buy your ticket today to support CCAN Action Fund's mission to fight for a cleaner air and healthier environment, and get 3 chances to win a brand new EV with every ticket. And by EnergySage. Time's running out in the US to get the benefit of federal tax incentives, so plan your energy independence today. Welcome back to another episode of TEN Transport Evolved News. Thanks for being here. Before we get going with today's show, I want to acknowledge that we've made some back-end changes to how this show is made. So if things aren't quite the same as usual, please be patient. We are bug squishing our post-production line. We're also changing up our stories a bit, so keep your eyes peeled for some important yet subtle changes, and let me know in the down below if they work for you. We start today with news that the US President has signed into law HR1, aka the One Big Beautiful Bill. In addition to extending tax breaks for the wealthiest Americans and cutting the social safety net, the bill slashes the majority of cleaner, greener, safer, smarter and more equitable policies. This includes everything from climate justice programs to incentives designed to help people make cleaner transportation and energy choices. I made a whole detailed video on this subject earlier in the week, so check it out if you haven't yet. But as of the time of filming, the most important thing I can share is this. If you're planning on buying a new or used EV in the US and you are currently eligible for incentives, you have until September 30th to buy and submit your properly filmed forms, and you also have until the end of the year to do the same with solar. Otherwise, you'll be out of luck. Off the back of that news, we're seeing multiple automakers roll back EV plans while others are doubling down on sales to encourage people to buy before those credits run out. Among the latter group is Ford, which in response to HR1 announced a massive new summer sale deal in the US this week. In addition to offering a headline 0% interest deal on a 4-year purchase with 0 down and nothing due for 90 days on all Ford and Lincoln badged cars, including EVs, those who buy a new EV before September 30th will also get a free level 2 home charging station for their car. Ford joins Acura, Chevrolet, Dodge, GMC, Nissan, Subaru, Tesla, Toyota and Volkswagen, all of whom currently have 0% finance deals on new EVs. But as is always the case, you need to qualify for those deals and be able to afford those monthly payments. Consider consulting a financial advisor before buying a new car. Things might feel a little uncertain in the US right now, but in Europe, sales figures from June and the first half of the year show massive growth. In the UK, for example, 1 in 4 cars sold during June were electric, and UK electric van sales in the first half of the year were double that compared to last year. Meanwhile, in Denmark, EVs accounted for 80% of all new cars sold in the first half of the year, a factor that seems to have helped the Volkswagen Group experience a nearly 50% global increase in EV sales during the period. In the US, Volkswagen's EV sales grew about half as fast as elsewhere in the world, but a 24% boost in the first half of the year in the US is still nothing to sneeze at. Lucid also posted its best deliveries and production figures to date in June, while Rivian's numbers were less impressive, partly due to plant downtime as it prepared for the just-launched refresh for the R1 family. Which brings me to that very piece of news: the recently revealed R1T and R1S quad-motor vehicles unveiled by Rivian this week. Adding to its existing lineup, the dual and tri-motor variants of the second-generation R1 platform, the new quad-motor versions come with quite extreme price tags, $116,000 and $122,000 respectively for the R1T and R1S in the US. But for that price, buyers get more than 1,000 horsepower at the wheels, a 2.6-second sprint time, and around 374 miles or 601 kilometres of range per charge. What's grabbing the most attention, however, isn't just the power, the range, or even the NACS inlet as standard, it's the kick turn feature. This off-road innovation allows equipped vehicles to turn on a dime by leveraging true quad motor control. Tank turn never made it into production, but frankly, this is its more practical descendant. While we're on the subject of launches, Kia unveiled its production EV5 this week in South Korea. A mid-sized SUV, the EV5 looks like the big brother to the EV3 and is built on the EGMP platform, but with a 400-volt rather than 800-volt system. This means a 10 to 80% charge of its 60.3 kilowatt-hour or 81.4 kilowatt-hour optional battery packs takes around half an hour, slower than some of Kia's other EV models. That said, the EV5 is built for everyday practicality and affordability rather than performance, which is reinforced by a claimed WLTP test range of around 530 kilometres, which is 329 miles in its longest-legged variant. A V2G and a V2L are standard, and Kia says it plans on bringing the model to the majority of global markets, including the United States. Not to be outdone, Kia's sibling brand Hyundai finally unveiled its N-badged variant of the IONIQ 6 sedan this week, and it is a beast. Making its debut at the Goodwood Festival of Speed in the United Kingdom, the IONIQ 6N features a host of subtle exterior changes to show it means business, including a swan neck rear wing, widened fenders, fully redesigned suspension, and a re-engineered chassis. It includes the same drift modes as its sibling, the IONIQ 5N, and promises a sprint time of 3.2 seconds, a top speed of 160 miles per hour, which is about 257 kilometres per hour, and 478 kilowatts at the wheels. It also offers Hyundai's N-E-Shift, sprint mode, launch control, and an active sound generator, all carried over from the IONIQ 5N. Hyundai claims it can deliver up to 0.6 Gs of regenerative braking power. Pricing to follow. We've got one more performance-oriented production EV to talk about today in the form of the Alpine A290 Rallye, a car that Alpine says is ready from the get-go to compete on the track. Launched to celebrate the 70th anniversary of the Alpine brand, this tweaked version of the A290 features 160 kilowatts at the front wheels, delivered via a ZF limited-slip differential. That might not sound like much, but it's worth noting that Alpine has made some significant upgrades over a standard A290, including improved thermal management and electronic drivetrain controls specifically designed to be capable of competition use. It also comes as standard with an FIA-compliant welded roll cage and competition-spec bucket seats, all while still remaining road legal. If you have the money and the skills, you can order one to compete on the track for just shy of €60,000. It's well known that the carbon footprint of an EV depends not only on how it's built, but also how long it's used, and the carbon footprint of the electricity that charges it. As grids get greener, so too do the EVs that rely on them. This week, a new study from the ICCT shows that, in Europe at least, EVs sold today are responsible for 73% fewer greenhouse gas emissions over their lifetime than a comparable petrol-powered vehicle driven a similar distance and used for a similar number of years. What's more, the study shows that EVs are just getting greener far faster than previous modelling predicted. By comparing data from 2021 and this year, the study found that EVs have achieved a 24% reduction in lifestyle carbon emissions over petrol in just 4 years, thanks largely to massive investments in green electricity generation across Europe. I started today's show with news of HR1 becoming law in the United States, and in response we're already seeing automakers roll back their EV plans. Nikkei reported at the start of the week that Honda has decided to scale back its electric vehicle strategy, cancelling plans to bring a large electric SUV to market in the US in 2027. Meanwhile, Nissan, which was also due to launch a 3-row full-size electric SUV in the US, has, according to the same outlet, pushed back production plans by as much as 1 year to early 2029. Simultaneously, Nissan appears to be eyeing a global cut to its next-generation Leaf production plans, with insiders claiming the company is slowing things down due to a shortage of rare earth minerals. In other news, Daimler Trucks announced this week that it's cutting back on global investment on electric big rigs and shelving its hydrogen fuel cell production plans until early next decade. Finally, for this piece, we have confirmation that imports of the Volkswagen ID. Buzz to the United States have been paused. While Volkswagen publicly blames the halt on a recall, insiders at the firm suggest the real culprit is the new round of Trump tariffs. So if you want to get one and you're in the US, be quick. Finally, for this segment, if you've ever spent time in an EV around folks who aren't exactly EV savvy, you've probably heard questions about EVs and moisture, specifically concerns about getting shocked. This fear usually comes from the old electricity and water don't mix trope, and it hasn't been helped by recent, frankly bizarre claims from the US president that an electric boat could electrocute you if it sinks. Science and automakers have debunked these myths many times over, but a new survey from Autoglim in the United Kingdom found that 46% of people aged between 25 and 34 and 40% of those aged 18 to 24 said they were worried about getting an electric shock when washing an electric car. Interestingly, people living in London were more likely to harbour this fear, while those in Wales were the least likely to fall for what is, in reality, a completely irrational concern. So yes, you can wash your EV and survive to tell the tale. But it just goes to show just how much FUD still exists out there that we'll have to combat when it comes to electric vehicles. I'll have more stories in a moment, but first a quick ad from our friends at CCAN Action Fund, and believe me, this is one ad you will not want to skip because it's offering you the chance to drive off in a brand new electric vehicle while supporting an amazing non-profit that's working for a cleaner environment. This year, the electric vehicle raffle for the planet from CCAN Action Fund is its best yet because every ticket gives you not one but 3 chances to win an amazing EV, letting you transition to a cleaner future. The grand prize winner gets to pick from one of 6 luxury new EVs: the rugged Rivian R1S SUV, the powerful Rivian R1T pickup, a brand new Lucid Gravity SUV, ultra-efficient Lucid Air sedan, sought-after Porsche Macan EV, or the iconic Porsche Taycan, all while second-place winners get a chance to win the Hyundai IONIQ 5 or our recent favourite, the Volkswagen ID. Buzz. And for third place, there's also a winner for the first time, the highly popular Chevrolet Equinox EV. Only 10,000 tickets will be sold, and tickets are just $200 and support the CCAN Action Fund's mission to fight for a cleaner air and healthier environment. Even better, the group covers state and federal taxes, as well as tariffs. They're covered too. Head over to www.evraffle.org to grab your ticket. That's evraffle.org, or check out the show notes or on-screen QR code to win the EV of your dreams. We are off to Recall Reminders now, which is a brand new feature that we are adding to the show because recalls are important. Let us know if you like it and we can keep it going. And while I can't promise we'll have it this week, we are going to try and put all of the links to all of the stories that we cover in a show notes document that we will link to below, so keep your peepers peeled. The BMW has recalled a sizable number of its recent EVs in the US to fix a drive motor software issue that can cause a sudden loss of power. An over-the-air update or dealer-installed patch will resolve the problem. Porsche Taycan and Audi e-tron GT models have also been recalled in the US for a shared issue, a faulty air suspension strut that could collapse and lead to a loss of control. Only 2025 model year vehicles are affected. Tesla is recalling a small number of 2026 Model 3 and Model Y vehicles due to improperly tightened seatbelt fasteners. Owners should hear from Tesla by mid-August if their car is affected. Polestar is recalling the Polestar 3 over concerns that the panoramic glass sunroof could detach. A new recall for this particular model, though not an unfamiliar problem in the age of glass roofs. It's also recalling just 2 Polestar 2 vehicles after discovering the wrong ECU software has been installed, which could disable the one-pedal drive feature. That issue has already been addressed with an OTA update. Ford is recalling 5 F-150 Lightnings to fix a front brake jounce hose bracket that may have been incorrectly fitted. On affected trucks, it could lead to a broken brake line and total brake failure. Volkswagen is recalling a small number of vehicles, including some ID.4s, to address improperly tightened bolts discovered during manufacturing. Chevrolet has issued a recall for more than 40,000 Blazer EVs due to a rear parking brake wiring harness that may corrode or become damaged, resulting in a brake failure. So far, sibling models haven't been recalled, but that could change. Oshkosh has recalled all of its new electric delivery vans due to airbag warning labels that might fall off. These are the same electric delivery vehicles that the federal government recently ruled the US Postal Service must sell. And finally, for the recalls, Orange EV is recalling some of its Husky terminal trucks after discovering that the wrong size washer was installed in a thermal fuse during a previous recall. That mistake increases the risk of future faults and fires. And that's it for recall reminders. Now on to the news shorts. Again, we're going to try and make the segments shorter, but we're also going to add show notes as part of this upgrade. Dacia has confirmed it's bringing an all-electric version of its popular low-cost Duster to market. As for when, the company's CEO says it will happen in due course, so stay tuned. Tyre maker Hankook has launched a new model for light-duty electric trucks called the IONIQ. It features an XL load rating, meaning it's built to handle the weight of full-size electric SUVs and pickups. Kia has priced the EV4 for the UK market, starting at £34,695 sterling on the road for the hatchback. Deliveries are expected to begin this autumn. Charging network Recharge has now installed credit card readers across its 2,500 DC fast chargers in Sweden, Finland, Norway and Denmark. It still offers subscription plans and an app, but this makes life a lot easier for the casual EV driver. US battery developer Lyten has completed its acquisition of Northvolt's energy storage arm, Northvolt DWA ESS. The deal includes a 25,000 square metre production and R&D facility in Poland. BMW has been hyping its upcoming Neue Klasse EVs, but reports this week suggest only 2 of the planned production lines at its new factory have been commissioned for EV production so far, which is far fewer than expected. BYD has shelved plans for a new EV factory in Mexico, reportedly under pressure from the Chinese government amid rising US trade tensions. The plant was meant to serve Central and South American customers. Volkswagen has expanded its new Transporter lineup in the UK to include 2 new electric models. The Transporter Shuttle and Combi variants add a choice of 3-row seating or a mix of passenger and cargo space, respectively. The Toronto Transit Commission, or TTC, has just celebrated putting its 100th battery electric bus into service in the Toronto metro area. It's aiming for a fully net zero emission fleet by 2040. Rocsys and ICT Group, working with Smart ECS, have launched a new hands-free EV charging system for electric trucks and equipment at major shipping ports. The setup is designed to streamline EV logistics for electric fleet operators. Custom Cells, the German battery company that entered into insolvency earlier this year, has secured a new investor. The incoming consortium will take over key parts of the brand and pivot it towards electric mobility. Polestar has entered into a new agreement with sister brand Volvo. Under the deal, European market Polestar 7s will be built by Volvo at its production facility in Košice, Slovakia from 2028 onwards. Researchers at the Korean Institute of Science and Technology have announced a breakthrough in motor design. They've developed an ultra-lightweight motor coil using carbon nanotubes, completely metal-free, with no copper required. Ford has launched a new all-wheel drive version of its e-Transit Custom in Europe. This dual-motor model is built for added traction and improved safety in off-road and low-grip conditions. Ireland has begun issuing EVs with special licence plates featuring a green flash on the right-hand side. It's a new visual cue to signify the vehicle's fuel type. It's part of a wider push in Ireland to boost EV visibility across the nation. The European Commission wants to extend its current electric truck toll exemptions, which were due to expire at the end of this year, through to mid-2031. The proposal is still awaiting a formal vote. And in line with its investment commitments, and after Rivian hit its required goals, Volkswagen has sent an additional $1 billion to Rivian to support their joint partnership on software-defined electric vehicle platforms. CATL has broken ground on a new battery plant in Indonesia. Located in West Java, the facility is expected to start producing cells by the end of next year, with an initial capacity of 6.9 gigawatt-hours annually. Indian company Ultraviolet has officially entered into the French market, planning to open pre-orders for its electric motorcycles to French customers by the end of this month. Redwood Materials has expanded into Second Life and microgrid solutions with the launch of Redwood Energy. This new division will focus on Second Life projects for EV batteries before they necessarily head to recycling. In addition to scaling back its full-size EV programs, Honda has delayed production of next-generation hydrogen fuel cell modules at its specialist facility in Japan, citing the need to adapt to changing market dynamics. Meanwhile, XPeng has launched the G7 SUV in China. This mid-sized EV packs plenty of onboard tech and goes head-to-head with the Tesla Model Y and Xiaomi YU7, starting at just under 200,000 yuan. Volvo Construction Equipment, working at the Siemens Technology Campus in Erlangen, Germany, has successfully completed the world's first building demolition using only battery electric plant machinery. Volvo Cars has announced that its upcoming ES90 sedan will have a life cycle carbon footprint of just 31 tonnes based on the current European energy mix, making it one of the lowest carbon footprint cars on the market today. The European Commission has earmarked €852 million in grants for 6 projects across the region, all focused on building electric vehicle batteries. The Australian state of South Australia has launched its first statewide EV charging network. The RAA Charge Network now covers 144 sites with 550 stalls. Tata has officially started production of its newest EV, the Harrier.ev. Unveiled just last month, it's already racked up more than 10,000 orders from eager customers across India. Kia has confirmed it's working on a budget-friendly city car priced at under €25,000 as part of its next-generation EV lineup. Details are sparse for now, but watch this space. US EV company Phoenix Motor Inc. has secured 1.6 million square feet of rent-free space from struggling Chinese EV maker Enbao, with an option to buy a majority stake after 5 years. Meanwhile, Nissan is considering a new strategy in Asian markets that could see it export cars from China, like its N7 sedan, to neighbouring countries. Persistent cash flow issues have been hampering Nissan's EV plans. And finally, for the news shorts, Stellantis has begun production of a brand new e-Ducato variant. Touted as the most capable BEV light commercial vehicle to date, the e-Ducato cargo box offers a cargo volume of up to 20.5 cubic metres. That's about 725 cubic feet. And those are your news shorts. There will be more next week. And let us know what you think of the format change. Our final 2 stories are coming up next, but first, a quick word from one of today's sponsors, EnergySage, who can help you as residents green their home's energy and heating. EnergySage connects you with local verified solar installers across the US and now heat pump specialists in select markets who really know their stuff and can guide you through the process of installing solar panels, or in fact, getting a heat pump installed. Not a homeowner? No worries. EnergySage can still help you green your electricity by joining a community solar program. I personally used EnergySage when looking for installers to put solar panels on the roof of my home, and their verified pros were knowledgeable and even introduced me to a great credit union that allowed me to finance the project with low monthly payments. As I mentioned at the start of this show, HR1 is now US law, and all incentives for solar, including savings of as much as 30% through the federal tax credit, will disappear very soon. Solar projects take time, so if you want to lock in those savings, it's important to act now because time is running out. Follow the links below to sign up for either of EnergySage's free, no obligation services and get started today. And if you choose an EnergySage installer for your project, we will also receive a small referral fee, so you'll be helping us out too. Help the grid get greener, save money, gain energy independence and support this show. It's a win-win, win-win. And now it's time for those last two stories. It might be hard to believe, but it's been 4 years since BMW Motorrad unveiled its first generation CE04 Maxi scooter, and now it's just unveiled that bike's replacement. With a peak power output of 31 kilowatts and a restricted L3E A1 version available for newer riders, the new CE04 has a top speed of 120 kilometers per hour. That's about 75 miles per hour, and comes with an 8.9 kilowatt-hour battery pack offering up to 130 kilometres, around 81 miles of range in ideal conditions. The restricted version gets slightly less, at around 100 kilometres or 62 miles. ABS and traction control come as standard, and customers can add extras like e-call, alarm, TPMS and heated grips. Now, while many people, myself included, tend to prefer motorcycles over maxi scooters, and I currently do ride an electric maxi scooter and would prefer a motorbike, this could be a seriously compelling option for commuters to get them out of their massively oversized cars. So bring it on. And finally, we are finishing today's show with not one, but two new world records set by EVs. First up, Croatian firm Rimac set 24 new world records with its Nevera electric hypercar by accelerating from standstill to 400 kilometers per hour and then braking all the way back to a stop. The whole feat took 25.79 seconds. And it also actually set a new record for a new top speed for an EV of 431.45 kilometers per hour. That's about 268.2 miles per hour. Very brisk. Meanwhile, across Europe, Lucid set a new world record by driving a Grand Touring variant of its Lucid Air sedan from Switzerland to Germany, covering 749 miles or 1,205 kilometres on a single charge. Admittedly, the route included dropping more than 4,383 feet in elevation, but as the metric equivalent might suggest, that's pretty neat. Okay. I am actually 1 metre off to make that joke work. But I think it's funny. 1336 is 1 digit off leap, right? And on that note, thankfully, we are done for today's show. A massive thank you to the Electric Vehicle Association for sponsoring today's show. The EVA has been advocating for EVs since 1967 and remains firmly committed to a cleaner, greener future for all. Join the EVA today to become an EV educator, meet like-minded fans and get support for your own transition to electric, including gaining access to a low-interest loan programme to help finance your next step. Find out more at myeva.org. Thanks also go to CCAN Action Fund. Buy your tickets today at evraffle.org and be quick. Only 10,000 tickets are being sold. And thanks to EnergySage. Follow the links below to plan your own energy-independent future before those all-important tax credits vanish. And if you'd like to support this channel, you can do so for just $1.50 a month on Patreon. And if you can, we would really appreciate it. In a world full of toxicity and corporate greed, our ad revenue has dropped, even as the number of ads Google is auto-inserting into our content has soared. It's not us, it's them. And if we can't make up the difference in revenue, we are in trouble. If just 400 of our 152,000 subscribers who aren't already donating give the equivalent of a fancy coffee a month, we would be in a much better financial position. Don't forget too that we're also available for third-party video production work in the Portland, Oregon area, and you can find our latest merch, including our excellent Pride designs, at the merch store linked below. Also down below, you'll find an Amazon affiliate link that helps support this channel if and when you use it. We publish every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday here, and every Sunday we drop 2 videos on Transport Evolved Take 2, our informal behind-the-scenes channel. To finish, remember this: you are valid, you are loved, and you belong, no matter what hateful courts or politicians say. And I know it's becoming socially acceptable to hate and demean, but that's not okay. At this pivotal time in history, kindness and empathy are vital. And a reminder, empathy is not a weakness or a sin. It's a skill we must practice or risk losing. Resist hate, stand up for decency, community, and basic human rights. I also want to let you know it's okay if you need a break, because even the strongest people do from time to time. Recuperate, rest, and come back stronger. Then get involved. Protest peacefully. Build communities that celebrate and uplift diverse voices, grow together, and ensure past mistakes inform a better future. That's how evolution works. So until next time, stay safe wherever you are, whoever you love. Be an ally, be kind, be the positive change you want to see in the world. And please, for the sake of everyone's future, don't let hate or ignorance win. As always, keep evolving.